There's reason to celebrate in a suitably medieval fashion here at Lower Brockhampton. This is one of the National Trust's best-loved properties, an ancient manor house in a beautiful valley in Herefordshire. The magnificent Great Hall and a few other rooms have been open for some years, but in 2014 the Trust decided to open the whole house to visitors. A mixed group of professionals and volunteers gathered to see what needed to be done and how to do it. The work that they did has led to a deeper understanding of the people who lived here down the centuries and developed new ways of telling their story. It's time to look with fresh eyes at Lower Brockhampton Manor. Over the front bedroom, the roof space is home to a colony of bats, and it has a secret to reveal. Rick Tyler is an architectural archaeologist.
All goes to show that this was a roof of comparable quality to the roof in the hall, and was a roof that was meant to be seen from the room below, which has implications that the room below wasn't simply storage, it would have been the principal chamber of the house. The timber work of the primary roof at this level does retain a number of carpenter's marks, which maintain a logical sequence right the way along the range.
This suggests that the whole of the east wing was built at the same time, not extended in Tudor times as people once thought. What had been going on?
It's a type of framing that it's not structural in form, it's purely show. It's a decorative feature. It's basically showing off that you've got the money to invest in timber to be used in an extravagant manner. And it's tempting to equate this timbering here with the gatehouse, which dates to 1545 and uses the same form of framing on the upper floor, long vertical timbers with no mid-rails. We've sampled these timbers for tree ring dating, and it will be interesting to see whether those tie in with the date of 1545 that we've got for the gatehouse.
Tree ring dating, or dendrochronology, was to provide the answers to Rick's questions. Enter Robert Howard and his drills.
We work on the basis of what the archaeologist, the building archaeologist, has told us about the questions that he wants to answer. In this case, he wants to know whether these timbers here are part of the original structure or part of a later addition. So what we've done is select those timbers that we think are going to give us the best results and the answers and the sort of dates that we might be interested in, etc. And then I have to choose where on the timber I actually want to take the core. Because what I'm looking for, of course, is the outside edge of the tree, because that is the part of the tree that is going to give us the most precise felling date. We take out the core and then take that back to the laboratory. Once we get back to the lab, what we'll do is prepare the cores by sanding on a belt sander so that we get a clear picture of the growth rings of the tree. And we then polish the core with various grades of glass paper until the rings are really clearly revealed. Then we put them on a thing called a measuring stage beneath a microscope, which is connected to a computer, and we measure the width of each ring, ring by ring by ring by ring, starting at the innermost ring on the sample and working our way out towards the outermost ring on the sample, which we hope is going to give us the felling date of the tree concerned.
It turns out that the close studding is indeed secondary, added 100 years after the east wing was built. A bit of Tudor extravagance by a very wealthy family. To find out more about the family, a history group gathered round Dr. Kate Lack, who guided members through the labyrinth of ancient documents and old census returns.
100 years worth of records, you will find the occupation of the father. Exactly.
Oh, yes.
Hay was so valuable, they listed it.
£1.10 shillings.
See the first letter there?
Not all of them are easy to read, but the information is in there somewhere, and some of them are beautiful to look at. Robin Hill was appointed as curator of the project to guide staff and volunteers. How would people move around the house?
Across the first floor and down at the rear staircase and then out.
It was not just the route that had to be decided, but what people would find as they moved through the house. Robin showed ways of creating a sense of period. Materials came from National Trust stores, donations from members, from antique auctions and charity shops. This is to be the sitting room of the last farming tenants of the house in 1952. Gradually we settled on a way of telling our story. Trenchers, traditional wooden platters, would be laid on the long table in the hall, bearing the names of characters in the history of the house. Meanwhile, the work of transforming the rooms went on. The modern stove in the kitchen was replaced with a range dating from the early 20th century, and it worked. Pots and jugs in the ancient Malvernian style for the buttery. Military equipment for the room commemorating an estate worker who fought in the First World War. A working model of a frame house, surrounded by facsimile quotations from an architect's notebook of 1871. Some volunteers learned ancient skills like smocking, harder than you might think.
One of those rows took me 20 minutes.
Getting ready for bed in 1685. One by one, the rooms were transformed, each telling the story of a period in the long and varied existence of the old manor house. The details were important. The clay pipes for the Victorian waggoner's room had to be right. Joseph Cureton lived here with his wife and children in 1861. The barrels for the buttery had to be placed on the newly built stillage. And the antimacassars for the sitting room arranged just right. At last it was Friday, the day before the grand opening, and time to make the last-minute arrangements. Mrs. Dennett's kitchen was stocked with plums from the orchard, and the table laid with ingredients suitable for an Edwardian cuisine. The handsome new dresser could be unveiled, ready for the great day, and finally everything was ready. And this is England, it rained. But nobody was downhearted. There were plenty of cakes. The opening ceremony was moved to the Great Hall.
My name's Ben Shipston, and I'm the National Trust's Assistant Director of Operations for the western part of the Midlands region of the National Trust. I'd also like to say a really big thank you for you all coming to share what I'm sure is going to be a very memorable day. So I know everyone will be wanting to have a look round. I'm going to cut this ribbon. So if you're ready, if you want to take a picture, I officially announce it. The new rooms open. Thank you very much. You go in and enjoy them.
At last, the house was open for all to see. The frame house was an immediate favourite. Sir John Saville's household and the Ledbury Waits created a suitably medieval atmosphere. After 6 months of hard work by a dedicated team, Lower Brockhampton Manor can now tell the story of 600 years as a family home. Brockhampton is revealed at last.